Hello and welcome to Analyzing Finance with Nick. In this video, I'm also going to be talking about class systems once again. I'm going to have this chart. I know these videos aren't that exciting in terms of picture movement or animation, but it's really important just to kind of for me to explain and work my way up these charts to kind of show you how socioeconomic models work in practice. Note as a disclaimer, like every other one of these videos, these are theories of mine based on my experiences and observations of world history and economic structures. They're not hardline facts, and social pyramids across societies differ in significant ways and change over time. So emerging markets, I'm referring to relatively democratic societies that are not at the level of development of a OECD country or a developed economy, which my definition is a country that has a GDP per capita of more than $35,000 USD in 2022 dollars. So these emerging market class systems they have, which is similar to the authoritarian regime, is social mobility is rather limited. However, in the authoritarian regime, there probably is more social mobility because you can move up through participating in the power structure of the authoritarian regime, whether through the political party of the one-party state or the military. Whereas with these emerging market class systems, in a more democratic society, it's actually a lot more stratified. And there are three main groups. There's the underclass, the middle class, and old money. You could also maybe kind of like how the church was in the medieval example. You could have like a oval that's kind of off the screen that kind of surrounds all of this, which would be politicians. There are politicians at different levels who could come from each one of the classes. And if the politicians play their cards right, have the right balance between corruption and effectiveness and likability, they may be able to build enough of a fortune to move up into the class or move their kids into the old money class. So let's start with the bottom. It's the underclass. And really the definition of the underclass is similar to the one in the authoritarian regime. It's just people who do not participate in the formal economy and live a subsistence lifestyle. Subsistence farmers, people work in black market or under the table type labor. They are generally illiterate or not educated enough to really participate in the formal economy, and they don't really have any sort of capital or voice in the system, whether financial or through human capital or through electoral power, other than being easily manipulated by the political parties run by the old money. They don't really have enough power to actually change the class structure. The next level is the middle class. And in these emerging markets, similar to authoritarian regime I mentioned, like middle class is a very loosely defined term. It's why I haven't really used it in the traditional sense in any of these models so far. The middle classes are basically those who participate in the formal economy and have some sort of disposable income. You have the lower middle class, which is more working class professions, like people work in factories or lower level service jobs or the tourist industry or something like that. And you have educated middle class, which do like clerical and professional type jobs. They have college degrees and higher ed level education. And then the top tier, these people, they both have enough to move up to retire and have a somewhat comfortable life. But neither of these two, which is why they're in the same trapezoid, don't really have a chance to ever really break out into the rich tier. There's not in these countries the same level of just like enough free competition so that like an upstart entrepreneur from one of these classes can really displace the old money hierarchy. It's just not allowed. And then the top is the old money. The old money, depending on whether their country had a communist revolution or not, or how geopolitically stable it's been in the past, could date back centuries, or it could be fairly new, say like date back to post World War II. But the point being is that these are the same families who own all the businesses. They're either the ones who run for office, or they're the ones who basically buy off a enterprising political entrepreneur in one of the lower classes and completely control them. A lot of people think that America and developed countries are structured like this, but I think that those people probably have not spent enough time living or learning about how the world works in the real stratified societies and are clouded by that. And this is more how like emerging markets work. It's not a coincidence that the same families who are wealthy in a country in Latin America, for example, are generally the same ones who were wealthy 100 years ago. That does not really change. The only thing that could fix this is if you have more economic growth, but not just more economic growth, but reforms that allow for more upstart competition. And that's really the step that allows somebody to move out of the middle income trap. The problem is that the old money establishment types don't like competition, and so they will not ever allow those reforms. And that's why a lot of these countries get stuck in this type of pyramid. The only real developed country that kinda has a pyramid like this would be South Korea. They have the Shable who control most of the industries and the big chunk of the economy and have a disproportionate amount of influence in the politics. But the standard of living is high enough that the people in the educated and middle classes are more satisfied and have a more vibrant consumer society. And what makes South Korea different than, say, less developed emerging market class systems is that the underclass trapezoid would be a lot smaller or almost entirely non-existent, and the formal economy would be a lot bigger. They were able to get a vast majority of their population into the formal economy without breaking down the protections of their old money. However, for them to really take to the next level, they're going to have to allow more competition with old money. And that's kind of a lot of the controversy in Korean politics to this day, is around balancing the tension between the old money and the middle classes. And we'll see how it goes. So this in general is how emerging market class system works. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments, or if I'm missing something here, or if you'd like to disagree. I don't have that much knowledge on South Korea's Chaebol controversy other than from a service level. I will be doing a video on them in the future, and any comments on that would be very helpful for my research. Thanks for watching.